Welcome to Backstories. Now, there's a lot happening right now, and we are here for it. Clive Davis fears the truth will be exposed about his connection to P. Diddy. Now, they've had a decades-long friendship, but more on that in a minute. Now, Diddy's latest legal woes have been making waves in the entertainment industry and setting the internet on fire, sparking whispers and speculation about the private lives of some of the biggest celebrities. But why is this so significant? And why has it gained so much attention? For years, there have been whispers about Clive Davis's sexuality. There were also questions and people wanting to know just why a top legendary music executive, Clive Davis, would enter into a major contract with a young entrepreneur, P. Diddy, being that he had an unproven track record at the time. So let's get ready to break all this down. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe and turn your notifications on so that you don't miss out on any of our ever-evolving content. You know what? Let's jump into it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Clive Davis is the former president of Columbia Records, signing some of the most iconic artists, Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick, Whitney Houston, just to name a few. However, Clive has been in the music industry for decades, and there was a situation back in 1973 where Davis was fired from CBS Columbia Records over alleged misuse of company funds. In 1974, Clive would go on to found Arista Records, which later led to several business ventures, becoming the co-founder of LaFace Records and Arista Nashville in 1989 and the co-founder of Bad Boy Records in 1994. For years, there have been rumblings and whispers around the music industry with regards to his sexuality, which later was confirmed by Mr. Davis in a sit-down interview with Katie Couric on her aptly named syndicated talk show, Katie. Now, I seem to recall in an interview with TLC member T-Boz where she alleged Diddy was the one who told Clive they were coming to see him because they were upset with regard to their publishing and lack of funds after selling millions and having virtually nothing to show for it. Now, that's crazy if it really went down like that. Fast forward to today, Clive is said to be panicking about the daily bombshells of news coming out about Sean Diddy Combs' lawsuit and what they might expose. There have been many top attorneys that have hinted and warned that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and several high-profile accomplices of Diddy are about to be named. Now, the whole world is going to be shocked when they find out who it is. Clive helped launch Diddy's career back in the 90s, so it's really strange that there's a video that recently surfaced of Clive appearing to not even acknowledge or know who the hip-hop mogul Diddy is.
A lot of people are curious about the status of P. Diddy. P. Diddy. Diddy. What do you make of that situation? All right. No comment from Clive Davis on P. Diddy.
Here's Clive leaving the restaurant.
Mr. Davis, you're a major influence on the career of P. Diddy. Have you spoken to him since the federal raid? Have you spoken to Sean Combs?
Not a word.
Hurry, get in the car.
Any comment, Mr. Davis?
No.
Any comments about Diddy? He credits you as one of his mentors.
Silence.
That's crazy. And now he's just gonna roll up the window? Based on their decades-long working relationship, he founded Bad Boy Records with Sean Diddy Combs, which produced the likes of the Notorious B.I.G., Craig Mack, Mace, 112, and Faith Evans. Now, you remember back at the Grammys weekend in 2012 at the Beverly Hilton Hotel? when Whitney Houston passed? Well, her mentor Clive Davis still went on to have a party for the elites that same night. After such a tragic event, who wants to attend a party? Now let me tell you, even Whitney Houston's dear friend Chaka Khan stated she couldn't muster the strength to attend Clive Davis's Grammy Party so soon after Whitney's passing. It was the same night, and I don't blame her either. For crying out loud, I would have missed that party too. Remember, earlier, Whitney came into the lobby where Clive was sitting and talking with Brandy and Monica. Who would have thought that would have been Whitney's last day with us? It's really sad. No matter what happens in that industry, their parties will still go on. Now let's check out what Jag had to say.
Her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. And Brandy was the one that found her. But you know, they pledge allegiance to Clive too.
There are sources close to the situation that claim Clive hasn't been sleeping well. There's some A-listers that are losing sleep as well. A lot of the elites in Hollywood are afraid of what's coming next following Sean Combs' indictment. In other words, they're all panicking on what could be on those tapes. Over the years, there have been so many celebs at Diddy's freak-offs, so there is no telling what this all means. Another source has said deals are being offered to new witnesses. Every day, it seems we're getting closer and closer to something much bigger dropping.
In a stunning twist, new allegations of abuse by former Identity Kane member Dawn Richards against her former mentor P. Diddy.
P. Diddy, in particular, has been at the center of several controversies throughout his career, and his legal woes have brought some of these secrets to the forefront, from allegations of abuse and exploitation to rumors of shady business dealings. Now, we all remember the numerous disputes and claims from his former artists concerning music royalties and publishing rights. It's pretty clear that Diddy's reputation has taken a hit. However, it's not just the allegations themselves that are stunning. It's the sheer number of people who have come forward to corroborate these claims. It's a pattern of behavior that suggests that maybe there's a deeper issue, one that goes beyond a simple mistake or misunderstanding. This isn't the first time an intense controversy has plagued the hip-hop mogul P. Diddy. In fact, there was a very serious incident that occurred in the early years of his career. Let me set the stage for you. It was December 28, 1991 at the time, and there was a celebrity basketball game being held called Heavy D and Puff Daddy Celebrity Charity Basketball Game at Nat Holman Gymnasium at City College in New York, put on by promoter Puff Daddy. You might know him as Diddy or P. Diddy today, but in the 90s, he was known as Puff Daddy. The event was promoted through flyers and radio spots broadcast all across the city.
Yo, join us tonight at City College Nat Holman Gymnasium for the first annual Heavy D and Puff Daddy Celebrity Basketball Game, benefiting AIDS charities. All your favorite hip-hop and R&B stars are gonna be in the building. So you know, this is one event you don't want to miss. Hope to see you there.
The game was intended to raise money for various AIDS charities and featured several rap stars playing on teams. Well, the star-studded event had a crowd well over its venue capacity, with around 5,000 people trying to get inside of a venue that holds only 2,700. Basically, the event organizers were ill-prepared for the sheer amount and rush of people that wanted to attend, leading event organizers locking 3 doors and leaving only one open for pay and security pat-down before entry. This was done to control the flow of people. There were 2 lines, both ending at one door. One for people who prepaid and bought a ticket, and another line for purchases at the door. But both lines came to a head at the one door that was open.
I done told y'all, there's 2 separate lines. The one on the left is for prepaid. The one on the right is for pay at the door.
The crowd was especially excited for a chance to see many of the top hip hop and R&B stars of the time playing and participating in this event, which was due to start at 7 p.m. The game wasn't underway yet, leading to irritation among the attendees. Once word got out to the crowd in line that celebrities were arriving, there was a surge of people that bum rushed the door in an attempt to get inside, not knowing that one of the promoters saw what was beginning to occur with the crowd at the door and then closed it in an attempt to gain control of the situation. So this had a complete opposite effect, meaning now there was nowhere for those at the front of the line to go. The ensuing surge of people were unable to see what was happening to those up front, and everything went chaotic. Small scuffles broke out inside, causing attendees to get pushed and trampled upon while running toward the exits. Cut into the chase, there were failures all around. According to several news reports, when the doors to the gym finally opened, those inside stated it was difficult to move in there. We were packed up against walls like sardines. The promoters of the event should have known the security would be understaffed and ill-prepared to deal with so many people. All of these failures combined resulted in a tragedy that never should have occurred if foresight and proper planning had been emphasized. Sadly, reports fluctuate between 8 or 9 young souls that were crushed and lost their lives, and dozens were severely injured, leaving lasting scars, and their lives changed forever. In this disastrous aftermath, the people involved with running the event pointed fingers at one another, but no one was officially charged in this incident. In more recent years, a similar tragedy happened at a Travis Scott concert. Now, I gotta tell you, these concerts still haven't learned after all these years. Now, that was a lot, y'all. Just when you think you've heard it all, there's more. Clive Davis, throughout his long career, has occasionally clashed with artists on his labels, often due to creative differences or his hands-on approach to managing their music and public image, as well as their publishing rights. In 2000, Clive Davis was ousted from Arista Records, the company he founded. There was a conflict that came to a head when BMG, the parent company of Arista Records, decided to replace Clive Davis as the head of the label with a younger L.A. Reid. Despite Davis's track record, the company believed it was time to make way for a younger generation of executives. This decision sent shockwaves through the industry. However, there's been many unfortunate tragedies with artists associated with Clive Davis and P. Diddy. Several overdose deletions, with many suffering the same or similar fate, ending up destitute with no money due to contract disputes or under the influence of many different life-altering substances. This is in comparison to how many of Sean Combs' P. Diddy artists end up. The similarities are too apparent not to mention. We should all find it strange so many have suffered the same fate under Clive Davis' leadership or his music label subsidiaries. Similar to Clive Davis, P. Diddy was also known for his overbearing hands-on approach to artists, featuring himself all over their music tracks and videos. Diddy was also known for maintaining ownership of his artists' publishing and royalty rights, a controversial business practice that has been the subject of discussion throughout his career. This approach allowed Diddy and Bad Boy to profit not just from album sales and performances, but also from royalties generated when songs were played on the radio, used in commercials, or covered by other artists. For instance, during the 90s and early 2000s, many artists signed to Bad Boy Records, including major talents like the Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, 112, and Mace had deals where the label, and by extension Diddy, retained the rights to a significant portion of their publishing. This gave him long-term control and revenue stream from the music even after the artist had moved on from Bad Boy or their contracts had ended. While this practice was a standard practice in the music industry, especially for up-and-coming artists, it later led to some criticism and disputes. In recent years, Diddy agreed to release some of the publishing rights back to the artists after facing pressure. But in others, the original contracts remained in place. This strategy of retaining publishing helped Diddy and Bad Boy Records maintain financial strength and control over the music catalogs, giving them a lasting legacy and continued income from hits created during the label's heyday. However, it also contributed to ongoing conversations about the balance of power between artists and record labels in terms of ownership and creative rights. Artists have struggled after leaving the shadows of their former label boss P. Diddy. And why? That's a question we all need to ask. How can overwhelmingly talented people virtually end up with nothing? Post Bad Boy involvement in their careers, this seems to be the norm rather than the exception. It's not like their talent just dwindles and disappears overnight. We're going to be diving deeper into these questions, seeking the truth on what actually happens to these once great artists. Just when you think there's no more, well, there's more. There was a nightclub incident involving Sean P. Diddy Combs and Jennifer Lopez, commonly referred to as the Club New York incident, which occurred on December 27, 1999. Diddy and J-Lo were dating at the time and were out at a club in New York in Manhattan. That night, a violent altercation erupted in the club and pow-pows were fired, injuring 3 people. Diddy, Lopez, and his then protege, Rapper Shyne, were allegedly involved in the incident. However, the charges were dropped against Lopez. Rapper Shyne was eventually convicted on weapons charges and served nearly 9 years. However, no one was ever charged or found guilty of the pow-pow itself. Shyne's self-titled debut was released in 2000 on Diddy's Bad Boy Records. His sophomore album, Godfather Buried Alive, was released in 2004, all while incarcerated. They both reached gold status, though. Natania Rubin, one of the 3 people out during the altercation, maintains Sean Diddy Combs was the one who powed her that night, and she has since renewed her accusation in recent days. I don't know if you caught the dates from this Club New York incident on December 27, 1999, and Puff Daddy's celebrity charity basketball game incident, December 28, 1991. They were both in the same month and 1 day apart. Now that's pretty strange. After this incident and prior to Diddy's recent charges, he managed to rehabilitate his public image over time, focusing on business ventures and shifting his career in a more entrepreneurial direction. Shyne, who later changed his life significantly after serving his sentence, eventually entered politics in Belize, his home country. With Diddy being arrested, people are finally coming out and telling their stories, and others have been talking for years. Diddy's trial is set for May 2025. Well, we're going to just have to see how all this plays out, and if any other celebs are implicated, and at what level. Now, I can see why they're all worried. We'll continue to follow Diddy's legal woes and continue to bring you updates. Now, you can see why Clive is shaking in his boots, not knowing what's gonna come out of all of this. Hope you enjoyed the story of Clive versus Diddy similarities. We'll be diving deeper into these topics in future videos. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video at Backstories 365.